Welcome to this explainer video. In this video, I'm going to take you through how to place orders in the FTX. And we're going to use the simple order form for this. So we're going to save the advanced order form for a later and smaller video. And for now, we're going to look at placing orders, placing some stops, and what that looks like within FTX. For this, we'll use BTC. So I'm going to go ahead and select BTC from the top banner here and bring us on to the BTC perp contract here. So as you can see, this is the default layout. If there is anything that you wish to change about the default layout, you can do so by selecting the settings button just here in the top right hand corner of the screen. You're going to unlock your layout, and then you will have the ability to drag and drop items where you wish and where you would like them to appear on your particular layout. Now, if you make a complete mess of this and decide that everything is, out of position and it does not look good, you can go back up to settings, select reset layout, and that will return you back to the default state. Whenever you're finished, make sure you select lock layout, and that will prevent you from accidentally reshaping or resizing things in the future. Within this list, you can also see there are various other personal preferences on whether or not you'd like things like order book flashes, whether or not you'd like order and trade sizes in USD, etc. And all of those can be customized within the settings option here in the top right. So for placing orders, a couple of things that we need to keep in mind. Number one is this panel down here. And again, depending on where you have this set up in your layout, this is going to contain our total collateral that is available in the sub account that we are currently in. So you can see here at the moment, we are currently in my explainer sub account, and I could select a different sub account from this bar across here if I wish to. So this sub account currently has a $100 balance. We can see that my free collateral is $100. There's no active positions at the moment. My leverage is currently set to 20x. Now, if I wanted to change this leverage, I simply select the slider here. I can just select 5x and you'll get the pop-up to say your leverage has been updated. If you select 50x or 100x or 101x, you'll receive this pop-up here. Now, this no longer applies to BTC and ETH. So there are no longer any high leverage fees for trading BTC and ETH. But this will be applicable for other assets and other markets. So make sure that when you're selecting 50, 100, or 101x, you just go ahead and accept that change in the fee structure. But remember, that will not apply to BTC and ETH trades. For now, we'll keep the leverage on 20x for the purposes of this video. And we're just going to scroll down to the other important area that we're going to want to take note of when we're placing orders in FTX. And that's this panel down here at the bottom. So we can see this panel's got several headers: my positions, my open orders, my trigger orders, and my trade history. So my trade history is just going to contain a list of all of the trades that I have executed. My trigger orders are going to contain any stops that I have set. My open orders are going to contain any limit orders that I have placed. And my positions are going to show my active positions. So if we're looking at placing an order on BTC, we're going to go ahead and use this order panel. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we are selecting the correct side of the BTC trade for the purposes of what we're looking to execute. So if we're looking to get long, we want to make sure obviously we're selecting buy BTC in this top header. If we're looking to get short, we want to select the sell BTC header, and that's going to allow us to open up a short position. For now, we'll look at opening a long position. Depending on the type of order that I want to place, I'm going to use the drop-down menu here under order type. You can see this is set to limit order currently. If I select that, I've got a range of options that I can select in here. If I wanted to use a market order, this would automatically enter my position at market price. And what I can do in here is I can select the amount of BTC that I would like to purchase for this long position, or I can select the amount in USD. So let's go ahead now and select 0.01 BTC, and what we'll do is we'll get an update here on screen to show that this will use 1.84x account leverage, and my estimated liquidation price for this position will be 8,965. If I would like to place this position, I can go ahead now and press buy. You can see my order has been placed, and if I now scroll down here, we can now see that in positions I now have one active position. And this is my BTC long for 0.01 BTC. The dollar value size of this particular position that I'm in, along with my liquidation price. You can see here is my P&L, which is currently set to 0. You can also see my average open price and my break-even price for the trade. Now, if I wanted to place a stop loss for this position, what I need to do is select the opposite side of the trade. So I'm currently long, which means that I need to sell BTC if I'm going to be removed from my position. I need to change my order type. So I'm going to change my order type to stop market. Now, this is always my preference, is utilizing stop market. This ensures that I will get out of the position as soon as price moves to my invalidation point. So let's look at this now. I'm going to set my invalidation just down here at 18,300 for this video. So I'm going to set my trigger price here at 18,300. And what you can see when you selected stop market is this button appear here, the close position button. Now what this button will do is it will automatically populate your BTC size in here. So I'll delete that now just to show that. And what it will do is it will select this reduce only button. So let's go ahead and press close position now. So we can see it automatically populates the counter position for my current open long. And it will select the reduce only button. The reduce only button is a lifesaver. The reduce only button will make sure that this stop can only ever reduce a position in size. What that means is, if, for example, I was to close this position out at market, and I was to forget that I'd placed this stop order, what you may have experienced in the past is that this stop order is now triggered as a fresh position. By having the reduce only button selected and active, it will ensure that that cannot happen. The system will look to reduce your position in size, and if there is no active open position, it will just invalidate this order. So there's no chance of a reverse position being opened. So let's go ahead and select sell, which is going to place this stop loss for me at 18,300. What we can see now is that this chart here has been updated to show the 0.01 sell stop that we now have in place. If I was to change my mind about this position and where I wanted my stop to be, I can select the order in the chart and I can slide that down to a new level. So let's slide that down to 18,000 here. I'll get a pop-up, and if I'm 50 cents off like I am here, I can go ahead and delete that. My amount remains the same, and I just select modify order. And that will now update my stop. So I can do that from the chart itself when I've got my stops established. If I wanted to as well, I can now use the trigger orders header down here in the order panel. And I can go ahead and edit that information using the pencil icon here. So I can go ahead and change my trigger price. Let's change it back to 18,300. Select the tick here. And that's going to update my order. And you can see it's reflected on the chart that my order has now been updated. Now, if I want to set a take profit point for this position, I'm going to do that by setting a limit sell. So I'm going to select limit order here, and I'm going to sell the BTC, of course, when it hits the price that I'm looking for. I'm going to go ahead and select 18,800 for the price. And once again, we can see the close position button. This is something that I always use, and I always actually end up clicking it, even if I can see that reduce only is already selected. I always go ahead and click this button again just to make sure that I'm going to make sure that no reverse positions are opened. So I've now got my take profit set, which is this limit order. It's a sell position at 18,800, and I'm just looking to close the active position that I have here with this long. So I'm going to go ahead now and select sell. We can see that this has now been placed on the chart again here, so I can now see my sell limit is up here at 18,800, and once again the same process applies. If I choose to move that down to 18,700, I can go ahead and move that. I can tailor that using this pop-up menu, hit modify order, and what we'll now see is that the open orders, because remember this is a limit order, now contains this sell. If I wanted to cancel all of the open orders that I have, if I just wanted to remove everything, I can go ahead and select cancel all BTC perp orders. What this will do is it will remove my stop and it will remove my limit sell that's up here. It will, however, still keep me in position. If I want to delete them individually, I can go ahead and use the trash can icon here, or on the chart itself, I can go ahead and select the cancel order button here, and it will just give me a prompt to say I want to cancel that order. Go ahead and cancel my limit sell here, and move down to positions. And if I wanted to close this position out at market, I just go ahead and press this red button here, and that's going to remove me from my position. So now this will send a reduce only market sell order for 0.01 BTC, which cancels out my position. So I'm going to go ahead and select yes. And we're now completely flat again. My balance has been updated with the fees and the small loss that I took in that long position. And that's just been updated down here. Now, if we're looking at placing a short order, exactly the same process applies that we have just gone through. But obviously, we're going to start this process by being on the sell BTC side in the order panel. So if we wanted to place a market short for 0.01 BTC, I'll go ahead and do that here. Press the sell button. Apologies, my reduce only is still ticked. So we can see as well, that's a good example of what I've just been discussing, that I just tried to place this order with the reduce only button ticked, and it knows that I can't do that because there's no position to reduce. So there we go. Can now select that, and that's going to open my short position the opposite direction here, which has now been opened. Updated liquidation price of 27,000, and again average open price and break even price displayed for me. So if I wanted to set a take profit, I would now be on the buy side. I would be setting my limit order here to have a buy at 18,000. Going to select the close position button, make sure that reduce only is ticked, press buy, and now my take profit is going to appear here. Now you can also use the take profit options that are in here. We've got a take profit limit, which will trigger once a certain price point has been achieved. It will place that into the books. It will place those orders for you. Or you can use the take profit button here, which is a little bit like a market order that will just take profit once the price has achieved the level you're looking for. I like to use limits. That's a personal preference. You can happily look through the list of orders and decide which one suits your purposes the best. You may prefer a take profit limit order, you may prefer that fixed take profit order, or you may prefer placing a limit order to the opposite direction of your trade. So we'll go ahead, go down here, select cancel all BTC orders. We'll go down here again and we'll select market close and remove me and make sure I'm completely flat here. And that's everything. That's how we place orders in FTX, and they are the orders that I utilize the most. We have the market orders, the limit orders. If we wanted to place a limit buy in here at 18,000 for 0.01 BTC, make sure that reduce only is unchecked. Go ahead and press buy, and that's just appeared in the books. We've now placed a buy at 18,000 for 0.01 BTC. Select the cross, confirm the cancellation. That order's now been removed. Very simple process for placing and cancelling orders within the FTX interface. So we've been through a range of options today. We've been through limit orders, market orders, we've been through take profit orders, and we've been through placing stops. There will be an updated video which is going to look at the advanced order panel, which has a few more options for us to run through and to enhance your experience in terms of identifying potential profit points for your trades or establishing the boundaries of what your trade's going to look like from a risk perspective. The advanced order tool can be very helpful to do that. But for this video on the order overview, we're just about complete. If there are any other questions that you have on the order process, please feel free to ask in the official FTX Telegram channel. Alternatively, you can use the help button up here to explore if any of the articles will be able to give you the answers to your questions. Thank you very much for watching, and see you on the next one.